Okay, so polyatomic ions, and these are often, students are like, oh, polyatomic ions. And the problem is the reason that we study them is because they're everywhere. Okay, so what you're going to find is when we do single and double displacement next, a lot of them have polyatomic ions. When we write the formula for oxy acids or acids that have oxygen in them, they have polyatomic ions. They're everywhere. Okay, so the good news is this table on the back of your periodic table has what we call kind of the parent form. So some of them are always what it says on here. Hydroxide will always be OH negative. Um, Ammonium is always NH4. So some of them you can just straight up look, no problem. The ones that say ATE or 8, they can have, you can change the number of oxygens. Okay? So sometimes what people will call the parent form on here, they say it 8 oxygen. I don't know. Again, if you don't like silly ways to remember things, don't worry about it. So this form here in the middle, if you're a highlighter, this is what's on the periodic table. Okay? So you always get the ATE or the parent form, and then you're going to sometimes have to make changes. Okay? So chlorate is ClO3 with the -1 charge. So when you look at the back of the periodic table, it has how many oxygens are part of the ATE form. It also has the charge, so it has both. Okay? So, so you don't have to memorize that. Then when you add one more oxygen, so whatever the parent form was, that's a 3. So one more is 4. The charge doesn't change. It becomes per. So one more oxygen is per. When you take one away, so you go from 3 to 2, then that changes to ITE, which is 1 less oxygen, then 2 less. So again, we don't usually write the 1. It becomes hypoite, which is 2 less. Okay? You have to be careful because some of them, like phosphate and sulfate, they start with 4. Their charge is different. Okay, so remember to always look at the parent form first and then change it. So if you turn your pages to find this, this is like, I wrote study sheet, but it's almost like French, like a verb conjugation sheet. So what I want you to do right now is conjugate or write all the forms for the polyatomic ions, okay? So I've done bromate for you. Technically here, I've also done chlorate, but maybe try and then check. And then you're going to do iodate, carbonate, sulfate, nitrate, and phosphate. There's a box that says other ions you must know. So I used to be ruthless and make people memorize them. So I just left that in there to show you how nice I am. So you don't need to memorize anything. You're always going to get this. Okay, so right now, do that. And if you have questions, you can ask. We'll